Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are going to be taking a look at Strategic Command, World War II, War in the Pacific. This is my Let's Play series of this new game, which just came out well, if you're watching this live today. It came out yesterday if you're watching this on YouTube, and this is the newest game in the Strategic Command series made by Fury Software. It's a turn-based we-go setup, so I-go, you-go setup, so turn-based, you do your turn, you hit end turn, the other side does its turn. It is a game that, as you would guess by the name, looks at just the Pacific theater of operations. So they had like a World at War game, which was Europe and the Pacific. This one is just the Pacific, but that does include India, that does include China, and Eastern Soviet Union. So that is, that is part of the game. I love the fact that they include China in these kind of games. That's what I liked about their World at War game. Not enough people look at the Chinese front in World War II. And when people do talk about the Chinese front in World War II, it is almost always like ending once the U.S. gets involved, right? They like to talk about sort of, the initial Japanese invasions, but kind of stops there. So I'm glad to see that's in the game. You can see here the Communist Chinese are in, as well as the Nationalist Chinese. It obviously includes the Philippines, which the Japanese have already taken from us. We are playing as the Allies, but the Philippines fell last turn, way earlier than historically was the case. They also took Kuching and Brunei, so Sarawak and North British Borneo. I don't think they have taken southern Borneo yet, by the looks of it. They haven't taken the Dutch East Indies yet. They are threatening Singapore. That will probably fall this turn, I would guess. Rain probably saved us last turn because they weren't able to use their air forces there. And they are also beginning to attack into Burma, where we are starting to put together a defensive force there, but, we don't have enough forces there to stop that. It'll be a temporary delaying action, I assume. I pulled back most of the U.S. Asiatic fleet out of the Philippines. I didn't see the point in fighting a useless battle in the Java Sea, but we have pulled these guys back to India. They are refitting, as well as some British warships in that area to hopefully, prevent any serious drive into the Indian Ocean. Australia is mostly unoccupied right now. There has been one headquarters. MacArthur did escape the Philippines despite its early fall. There's a Australian force, the Kanga Force, or Conga Force, and then there's a U.S. artillery unit, the 14th Field Artillery Regiment, here as well. There's also been a garrison formed at Port Moresby of volunteers in New Guinea, so that is good. They haven't taken Rabaul or Guadalcanal or any of these bases yet in the Pacific, but I would imagine many of them will begin to fall before too long. Truk is already there, so they've already got a base of operations in the area. I've been told they made a lot of changes to the way that supply and logistics work for the Pacific Theater. I haven't really experienced much of the changes in the game yet, but that's great to hear. I hope they did, because if they didn't, honestly, the naval aspect of this game has never been its strongest piece, and so I would definitely hope that they have upgraded the naval side of things. And a big piece of that is 100% logistics. Although certainly not the only thing. We have pulled the U.S. fleet back toward Los Angeles, where it's refitting. We have the Saratoga carrier group there, which has refitted and upgraded its aircraft. We've got the Enterprise carrier group. We've got a couple of destroyers, a heavy cruiser group, and then the Oklahoma, the sole surviving battleship group. And no, they didn't sink 8 of them. There was the game only started with 3 or 4 battleships at Pearl. But the Oklahoma survived and is pulled back towards San Francisco. She'll repair next turn. And then we've got a submarine near Oakland as well. I've kind of already done most of our turn. It's January 26th, so I think at this point it's really just on me to hit the end turn button, see how much success they have in Burma, see if they take Manila, and what goes on there. We've done a little bit of limited counterattacking in China. We destroyed a garrison in Nanjing last turn, although the Japanese do have an armored unit there, so that makes me a little bit nervous about advancing too far too quickly there. The Japanese are always, they've got a lot of troops in China, so we got to be careful of that. Also, we can't use all the communist forces. They're kind of stuck in these communist pockets until the communist Chinese join the war effort. But we've already done our investments and things like that. So let's go ahead and end the turn and see what the Japanese do to us next. Bataan completely occupied by Japan. Japanese forces take Cebu. Okay. Japan celebrates the surrender of the Philippines. By the way, the Philippines fell because I was stupid. I moved the U.S. garrison unit out of Corregidor toward Manila, and I tried to put a Filipino force in Corregidor, thinking they'd be much stronger and able to defend because they were a corps-size unit. That would have been true, except that the Filipino forces all automatically surrender when Manila falls, whereas the American unit would not have. And so I was not able to maintain that force there because, well, they got destroyed and then the Filipino forces surrendered. So that's the reason we fell probably at least a turn before we otherwise would have. Meanwhile, you can see all this R&D work going on here. We're having some success this turn, so that's always good. Always good to get your stuff upgraded more quickly. We are sending 76 or 86 U.S. IPs, industrial points, to China to help their economy out via convoys. So that's cool. It does cut into the U.S. income, but you know, I think it's important to keep China on its feet, and also I think that convoy route goes away once Burma falls, so better to get them that now than later. Okay. Communist base here. Doesn't look like the Japanese have any interest in going to war with them quite yet. I would assume we'll see some landings on Palembang or in the Dutch East Indies soon. I'd wonder if they have to declare war on the Dutch East Indies, because they haven't actually fought the Dutch yet. So would we get like a small garrison force on these islands? Because these islands are all kind of closed to us. I'm wondering if that's because they're technically neutral. You see the Japanese have 2 battleship groups, 3 heavy cruiser groups, a submarine and a destroyer just off the coast of Singapore. We've got some tactical air units operating in China. We've got 2 fighter groups which can help defend Rangoon. The Japanese are sending escorts out. But we've got the AVG group, basically the Flying Tigers. So they bombed Mole Mine. They didn't do any damage in the first attack. The second attack, they did do damage. I don't know why we didn't intercept them the second time around. Meanwhile, a lot of artillery there. Singapore being attacked by that army group here near Kuala Lumpur. Marines are attacking. So, okay. So it looks like, unless there's an air attack that wipes out the troops in Singapore, it looks like we will hold Singapore for another turn. Meanwhile, Mole Mine is going to fall. Japanese quickly destroyed that garrison unit with a tank. Japanese landing craft at Lae, and they've now landed on New Guinea. Singapore being saved by the fact that the Japanese don't have a wide enough front to bring more troops to fight. And Rangoon may fall next turn. We'll see. It looks like they got an armored unit there adjacent to the city. The bulk of the High Seas Fleet, or at least the surface vessels, seem to be off the coast of Singapore. Okay. I don't know what that song is. Hey, Wildman. So, Tabula, I wouldn't say, like, the supply was bad. The naval supply was bad in the previous game, so I do think a supply overhaul in this game wouldn't make things worse, but... Wow, youngin'. I don't know that song, sorry. British aircraft carrier, the Indomitable, is arriving here in Karachi, or I guess anywhere in India, so that's good for us. I don't want to put it too close to Rangoon. I don't know what they might do. So we'll deploy it back near Colombo. Oh, I should have deployed it in the port. It was coming in at half strength. Idaho at San Francisco. Juneau is coming in at full strength. But let's just put it here in case there's some anti-aircraft upgrades. Alright, so a lot of our units are just mobilizing now. We probably should send some additional troops to Moresby. Even a headquarter in Moresby would be useful. But you can see here the supplies at 5 and 4. So I'm thinking we want to put a stronger force in Moresby. Can we get these guys there in one turn? We can, I think. So let's do this. Let's move the New Guinea volunteers up to Buna. The enemy will probably land there next turn. And then we'll move the Kanga force into Port Moresby. I'll have to check that out later. Alright, so reinforcing in New Guinea. Hopefully it'll Allow us to hold there a little bit longer. What are these things? Japanese bombers. So if the Japanese place bombers in any of these hexes with these little hashes, it influences supply to Australia. Meanwhile, if the Allies put, or if anybody puts units here in these areas, it influences supply to Guadalcanal. So those are some new aspects that I hadn't noticed before. So these guys, yeah, so the Dutch East Indies are not yet at war with Japan. Okay, it's good to know. We could spend some points to, 16 points to reinforce the troops at Singapore. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, because they're almost certainly going to die next turn, but I guess just in case, you know, maybe they'll put up a better fight. What's this here? Undersupplied, attached to HQ. Okay. So, when Rangoon falls, does that cut off the Burma Road? Probably, right? So we've got to get our supply into China as best we can right now. We'll put our aircraft back here one. Is it better to operate or force march? They can't get there if I force march them. Operating them will hurt their readiness, but their readiness is already trash. It's already like 29%, so didn't make a meaningful difference. So, obviously these troops will probably die because the tanks can attack twice, but who knows? Maybe we'll get a little bit of luck. Supplies aren't great. Alright, so they did destroy the garrison unit here. In the south. Tactical bombers going after this air unit. I'll pull the tactical bombers out next turn. Down here in Gongzi. Trying to delay their advance here in the south of China. Or limit it. Okay. Oh, nice. 0 to 1. I'll take that. Those are good numbers. Fuzhou is still... Did the Japanese really not take that port city? I would think they would have taken it by now, but... Okay. Nice. Alright. Doing a little bit of damage to them. 0 to 2, that armor must be out, like, ahead of its supplies or something. Moving units also causes them to lose their entrenchment values, so that's not always an ideal thing to do, but... Alright, we push that garrison back. I still can't use these Chinese forces yet. There's got to be a bad guy here. They won't let me take the capital of... Is that Manchukuo? Whatever that is. Yeah, there's an army there. Okay. I'm not going to attack if there's no prospect of doing well in the attack. Alright, this artillery may be able to help blunt these guys near Wuhan. Have a good one on ours. That's the hope, anyway. We're trying to hold the line here in the south as well. We'll see what happens. Do we have any upgrades to do for these ships? Doesn't look like it. British ships need to repair. Battle cruiser can get better ASW, but I don't want to spend that money right now. Okay. So that's about that. I'm curious when the Japanese are going to declare war on the Dutch East Indies. You'd think they'd do it sooner rather than later, right? They wait for Singapore to fall? Okay, that's good to know. Alright, I'm building up a fleet here near Sri Lanka, so they'll probably declare next turn then, right? Because Singapore will probably fall next turn. Alright. We'll leave those ships. They should be far enough back that they're not in an immediate danger, but far enough forward that they can hit near Rangoon if needed. Alright, so we now have 189 MPPs left for the US. That's probably about it for the turn, right? So let's check research and development. We've maxed current investments in production and industrial technology. Naval construction, submarine warfare, amphibious warfare, all maxed. Infantry warfare, we could invest a second one in. I'm a little hesitant to do that, though, because it can only upgrade by one, so we'd lose that second chit of investment. It would happen more quickly, but again, we'd lose that money. Command and control has one investment. That can go up two. Anti-aircraft, it feels like something maybe we'd want to invest in. Or even subs. Or naval weaponry. Aerial warfare is already maxed. This actually helps carriers, though, so that feels like something we should do. Oh, we're already spending the max, aren't we? We're spending 2,900 in R&D. The max spend is 3,000, so we can't actually invest anymore on the U.S. side. The British can. They don't have as much money to invest this turn, though. We can do infantry warfare. That feels like that would be relevant for the British, right? Or maybe actually do decrease unit cost. I can't do industrial technology. Alright. USSR isn't building anything, so really just R&D for them right now. China has some money. They could probably use more new units, but they also, frankly, need better units. So I think spending at least 100 for the Chinese on logistics is worthwhile. And that's probably it for China right now. Command and control, I guess, maybe, sort of. Can we buy anything useful for 150 with the Chinese right now? We can get a new core. Engineers could be useful too. Engineers can let you build like fortifications and stuff. They won't arrive till July. Engineers take a long time to build. Alright, we'll do that. And then the Aussies have 96 points. Can we use it for anything? No. Alright. Can we research anything for that price, though? Naval construction. I don't know that they've got a lot of options there, though. That might be why it's so cheap. Anti-tank weapons, I guess. I don't know how much armor they're going to go up against. I'll just save that money for next turn. Well, we'll do one more naval construction. Save the other 60. Alright, so that'll do it for this turn. Let's go ahead and end it and see what happens here in 10 days. 7th Armored arrives for service in Southeast Asia. Yay! They're way under strength, but Japan reinforces Burmese front. That's not good. Axis raiders are disrupting U.S.-Chinese convoys. Chiang Kai-shek visits India, meeting Gandhi, who promises not to impede China's war effort. Progress in intelligence. So you can see here the Germans, or not the Germans, the Japanese interdicted 10 IPs worth of money from the U.S. to China. And we'll see what happens here in the next turn. Delwyn, I already sent troops to, well, not Guadalcanal, but to Port Moresby. Alright, so it seems like the Japanese are moving their fleet down into the Java Sea, presumably to handle the eventual invasion of the Dutch East Indies. They're not technically yet at war there, although their carriers, their light carrier was bombing Singapore there this turn. Alright, so they got a lot of escorts. So our fighters didn't hurt the bombers at all. They did hurt some of the enemy escorts who were going to end up hitting Rangoon. Tactical bombers in China actually lose casualties, or take casualties. Defensive artillery near to the west of Wuhan, going to help against that Japanese army attacking the Chinese here. Although those are cracked Japanese troops, so... First attack here in Singapore. Alright, Singapore's dead. They'll take it this turn. I'm assuming the declaration of war may wait until next turn, maybe? Not, they'll, like, wait till the trigger fires for them taking Singapore, which usually is not, like, a mid-turn thing. Armor attacking north in China. They just landed on Rabaul. They just landed on... Is that Guadalcanal? That's not good. Rabaul is to be expected. Guadalcanal. Alright, capture Singapore. Fall of Singapore causes shockwaves in India. Japan celebrates the fall of Guadalcanal. Malaya surrenders. The Solomon Islands surrender. Bismarck Archipelago. The Bismarck Archipelago is a colony of Australia, isn't it, in this era? Who are they? I mean, whatever. It's just, I guess, an easy way for the game to give them control of all the islands. I really need to put troops on some of these other islands. Alright, so new Australian troops showing up. Morale falling in India. There's separatist movements in Xinjiang province, most notably those Muslims who tried some years ago to set up an independent East Turkestan Republic. Consequently, unless we act to assert our authority in the region, disorder will prevail. Place a Chinese corps, army, or tank unit within 3 hexes of Urumqi, and the assertion of our authority there will increase our national morale while preventing any rebellions. We'll soon have a light tank available for deployment, and it could be used in this role until a corps or army becomes available. Okay. British Empire gets a sub. Alright, I really need to put troops into some of these island bases. I don't like the idea of leaving New Zealand unoccupied, but if the Axis took all the Solomon Islands, we probably need to send someone to New Hebrides or to Nomaya, right? I don't know if the Japanese are scripted to not land there, but I don't particularly want to take the risk. I don't love using specialists like artillery to hold an island, but artillery in Nomaya, infantry or a garrison unit in Luganville. Putting someone in Suva would be a good idea as well. Maybe Pago Pago. Does the US have anything I can send out that way? Can we send like a... We could, like, shuttle some troops there from... Yeah, we could maybe operate some fighters there if they can get there. We'll put some fighters on Suva. So we'll put some Marines on Pago. We'll put some fighters on Suva. We've got some garrisons in Luganville and Nomaya. This is a shoestring curtain of troops descends across the Pacific. I don't know that an anti-aircraft unit would be all that useful for this, but... You know, anti-aircraft on Midway might make... Well, but they're probably more likely to land on Midway. Alright. We'll take these Marines, put them in Pearl. Eventually they'll get there. Spending a lot of my US money on transport this turn. I don't know if who doesn't run, they die. Alright, so fleet is pretty much ready. So let's do this. Let's send these ships to Pearl. We'll reform the fleet at Pearl, which should make it safer from enemy attack. Do we have any upgrades there for the subs? No. Okay. I'm assuming the Japanese won't land on the US West Coast. I suppose that could be a dangerous assumption. Alright. Navy's moving. Have they taken Wake yet? Yeah, Wake Island fell. Alright. upgrade the Kanga base forces infantry weapons. So we've got the Australians here and New Guinea volunteers here holding along the eastern tip of New Guinea, Port Moresby and Buna. They put an air unit here in Henderson that'll hinder supply to Australia. So that's an interesting... I like that mechanic. That's different. I'm assuming the Japanese will attack the Dutch East Indies next turn. Okay, we'll keep the air units back here to help against Japanese bomber attacks, but it wouldn't shock me if Rangoon falls this turn. We'll see. Lots gonna depend on what the Japanese do. I don't particularly want to risk my fleet quite yet. We'll do the ASW upgrade for that British destroyer. In China, let's attack the lead Japanese army here. Alright, so we're doing some damage to them. In China. At least in the south, we've kind of gummed up the works a little bit. Alright, let's swap these guys around. So that Japanese armored unit's going to get a lot of experience fending off Chinese forces. Not permanently, Brownie. I'm just taking a short break. The British campaign for Ultimate General should be coming very soon. I'll definitely be playing that. Still can't use the Communist Chinese there. Alright, so what else can I do? Is there anything else I can do? Oh, we got these British units. We want to upgrade them. I lose... So this is silly. They're a 3-star unit from experience perspective, but they come in at only 30%. I can't do elite reinforcements. I'm not sure why. So I can basically choose to either have an elite understrength unit or fully equip them, but give away all their experience, which I guess is what I'll do, because I want the I want the unit, not just the experience. But R&D China, what are we gonna do here? 250. We need to research infantry warfare. We're already doing that. They need to research command and control, I think. They're doing that now. They're already double researching production technology. I guess 2 logistics is... Oh, we've researched the most we can research with them. Okay. Australia doesn't have enough money to do any research. And I think the US is still maxed out too, right? Yep. The British are not. They need infantry weapons. They don't have the ability to do that. I don't know if the British are going to run into a lot of tanks. Don't really want to buy anything for the British either. A Burma garrison maybe would be useful. Free France. Guess you could deploy that in New Caledonia. An anti-air unit for the Chinese might actually be useful. Japanese have a fair bit of air in that region. Alright, so US, we've got money, right? Let's use some of that. Alright, we'll buy 1 corps of infantry and 1 marine corps for the US. And the rest of the guys, we won't do anything. We'll just sit on our cash. Let's see what this next turn has in store for us. An eccentric British officer, Ord Wingate, has come up with a plan to form an elite unit of infantry that can be used to attack Japanese positions in Burma and beyond. He is very enthusiastic and is asking for troops to be trained for this type of role. If you agree, then you'll get a 11th Strength Special Forces unit at Delhi with full research and 1 experience. Okay, why wouldn't I do this? This is another one of those, like, they give you a choice, but why would you ever say no? U.S. submarines are using Fremantle as a base. Defensive air cover protects the U.S.-China convoys. Cool. Oh, wait, I forgot to move my U.S. ships that were moving in to defend a couple bases. Oops! My bad. Hopefully they don't find him and attack any of them. Paratroopers at Shanghai. Okay. I still don't know why the game gives you Japanese events. They never did that in previous games. I guess that one matters less than the one in the first 2 turns that were advising on strategy. We're almost in Coral Sea time. Shit. My fleet's just sitting in between the U.S. and Japan, or U.S. and Hawaii right now. Well, it's worth it because they're the overstrength unit, right? It's a little more expensive than a regular special force unit, but it comes with a full upgrade of... Oh no, there goes the AVG group. It comes with a full upgrade of, like an 11 size unit, so... Okay. Gonna destroy that unit, aren't they? Maybe not quite yet. We're keeping the Burma Road open for now, boys. Until they snap it and take Rangoon. So far, China's been a nice little quagmire, which is historically accurate. Alright, we keep getting a bunch of understrength British or Commonwealth units. Partisan activity in China. Go for it, boys. Alright. Let's actually get our fleet out of the middle of nowhere. Oh, wait. The battleship Nevada was seriously damaged at Pearl Harbor, but we're confident it can be refloated. Okay. Yeah. I definitely want a battleship for 100 MPPs, even if I've got to upgrade it. Can I deploy any of these ships in Pearl? No. The Warspite! By the way, why does Warspite come in at half strength? I don't know what I'm going to do with these Chinese engineers, but they are here. Hey, we get tanks. It's going to help our economy to deploy them over there, I guess, for now. They can... That's a long way to drive. Maybe that was silly to do that. Oh, well. Wow. It really shot up that garrison unit. Alright, let's... Mostly a reinforcing turn in China today. Okay. Continue pushing here near in Guangxi. Or Guangzhou, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Can't fly with these air units because of the bad weather. That should help push some supply forward, I would think. Maybe a little bit. Alright. Burma... I mean, very possible Rangoon will fall next turn. I don't know what they're going to do with their armor here. They could go after that headquarters unit. I think having the air unit around was worthwhile, though. Because it does distract from the attack on Rangoon. I think another turn or two, like 160, 240 IPs reaching China is worth the unit. Okay, let's do this. Let's move that armor unit in, right? So the garrison in Rangoon is very dug in, but it's a garrison. Alternatively, I can move this armor unit in, which won't be dug in, but it'll be an armor unit. Well, I can't really move them anyway, can I? I can do that. We'll see. It's a light armor unit, so I don't know if that makes a difference. How's the supply situation in Rangoon? Not great. It'd be better to have the supply unit down here. Or the headquarters unit down there. British spending all their points this turn reinforcing units. Whatever. I think it's worth it. Okay. 60 MPPs over the hump. Okay, that's good to know. It's still a considerably smaller amount than I currently have in my disposal, but that is good to know. Okay. Alright, our fleet at least will get to Pearl. We're not defending the Coral Sea or anything like that, so I wonder if the Japanese will make an amphibious play for Port Moresby or not. But we've at least got the Pacific Fleet mostly rebuilt. Nevada still needed a little bit of work, and then most of the ships are there. We've got a cruiser unit that'll take a little while to arrive. But the U.S. fleet is ready to go. Okay. Yeah, they do have Leh. They could push along the coast. We do have troops in Buna, which I think would hinder that. They haven't gone for the Dutch East Indies yet, which is... I wonder if it's... Well, no, it's already March. They should be attacking there. I don't know. Alright. So, I think that's most of the units, right? American ship's still here. Can't do any real upgrades. We can push out a port a little bit if we want. I don't want to put an army all the way back there. I think China should build a garrison unit. Reinforce some Soviet units. I wonder if putting one unit here and here are both required, or just one of them? Alright, so purchases. China has a little bit of money, right? Let's go ahead and build a garrison unit. Do 2 of those. R&D, is China maxed out? I can't remember. Yeah, pretty well. They're maxed out. US is still maxed out because they haven't finished anything. British don't have any money for R&D. And Australia doesn't have any real money for R&D either. Okay. US still has money to build stuff. So does China, actually. So China, we should build... We could build a light cruiser for China. Where are you going to deploy it? What are you going to do with it? Alright, purchase a... that. And then for the US... could do some fighter aircraft. Mechanized troops. Battle cruisers. Can't afford a carrier. We can do an escort carrier to operate it with the fleet. Let's do medium bombers. I can't afford those. Let's do tactical bombers. Can't afford those upgraded either. I guess we'll just do fighters then. Alright, that's pretty much all our money. So we will end the turn here and see what is in store for us. Okay. Should help China's economy at least. American progress on advanced fighters is making way. Making progress, haha. You know, the R&D is pretty slow for a game that only has 70 turns in the campaign. We're already into April by the time we go again of 42. Alright, Dutch East Indies is at war. The Japanese are already in position to wipe them out. They're like, hey, we're here, we're ready. They've got ships off every port. Do the Dutch naval units get wiped out when they surrender? There should be a sense of, like, soldiers and units in exile. Because this game doesn't really do that, generally. I'm guessing these amphibious troops will land before we can do anything against them. British fighters hitting tactical bombers that are coming in, but more or less getting hit themselves. Why are fighters getting shot down attacking bombers? Right, that Chinese army's getting hit. So they're not actually going for Rangoon quite yet. They're going for the adjacent units, presumably to cut off supply, kinda, sorta, maybe. The air power sure is annoying. Well, they cut us off and destroyed the air unit. Alright. Theoretically, that should close the Burma Road, but I'm gonna guess it won't. The Dutch evaporate, so be aggressive with them while you can. Okay, that's good to know. The Japanese are threatening to break through near Hunan. Alright, well the Japanese... I was hoping the amphibious troops would... Oh, they destroyed it, sure, at anchor. I was hoping the amphibious troops would stay on their transports and I could hit them there, but I guess not. Seven the Sixth, thanks for the follow. Chandler Bow forms an Indian National Army. Japanese morale increases as they near Batavia. Alright, well I guess we send our fleet out on a death ride against the Japanese then, right? The battleship California was bombed and torpedoed at Pearl Harbor. It can be refloated and repaired. It'll cost more. Yes, please. I wonder if it returned to Puget Sound because there was no more room at Pearl. Oh, they couldn't even produce garrisons before? Huh. Alright, the China garrison, or one of them is ready. Send them out to that city. Boom! Give me favorable odds against a Japanese unit, or even odds against a Japanese unit, I'll generally take that. But yeah, the Burma Road still remains open. These guys can fly in bad weather? Huh. Who'd have known? I don't know if this American headquarters unit actually supplies the Chinese units or not. It said they would in the write-up. Okay. Damn it, I thought we'd destroy him. Just got a Chinese tank unit now. Oh, Chenault's an Air Force unit? That's right. And the AVG was destroyed, so... Alright, let's do this. Elite reinforcements, you say, huh? Try and get those troops into Burma. Alright, we'll see how long Rangoon holds out. May not be very long. I suppose deploying my ships to the Java Sea would have been smart, because then I could have used them against the invasion fleet. Fuck! Well, there goes the, there go the Dutch. Whose money do they use anyway? The US maybe as a minor ally? Like, do we even want to deploy the US fleet to the Australia area? Probably, I would guess, but I don't know. Alright. Research. Any progress for the US? Not really. Okay. Let's see. 290. Alright everybody, this is where we left off with our episode the other day, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up here. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of Strategic Command, World War II War in the Pacific. Let me know if you want to see more of this in the future, but until then, this is the Historical Gamer once again, saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye!